Are you wondering if you need vaccines for Bali? Short answer is yes. Vaccines are certainly the less glamorous part of Bali prep, however they are very important, so listen up. It's a very simple process finding out which vaccines you need, but I'm going to lay out step by step of how I did it. The biggest obstacle tends to be that, well, people don't like needles, which is fair play. It's not exactly getting a massage. But the other thing is, which vaccines do you need? There's so many that you might need, but don't worry, I've got you. So first things first is you need to book an appointment with your travel nurse at your GP. You'll then have an appointment to basically discuss where you're travelling, what activities you're doing, and so forth. Next, they will book you in for the vaccinations that you need to get. But something really important to remember is some vaccinations you actually need to have 3 jabs and they need to have at least a month spaced out in between them. So make sure you give yourself at least 2 months before you're travelling. I know this isn't ideal if you may be moving to Bali off a whim, but I think like most people, you're probably planning this in advance. So as soon as you have your visa approved and you booked your flights, just get onto your GP and get these appointments set up. Because the sooner you've got them, then they're out the way as well. Because if you're like me, the last couple of weeks before you're leaving, you're packing, you're either moving out your house, you're having leaving dues, like you're very busy, and the last thing you want is to be having to go and get loads of vaccinations done. Unfortunately, not all the vaccinations you will be able to get on the NHS. There are some you will have to pay private for, but I have got a couple of little tips and tricks on how you might be able to get more on the NHS than having to pay private to save you some money. Right, now I'm going to walk you through all the vaccinations that I got. Hepatitis A, so this is for contaminated food and water. It is high risk in Bali, it's free on the NHS and it's only 1 jab. Next up, so hepatitis B, so this is through blood, sexual contact, needles. Again, this is high risk in Bali. It's actually not free on the NHS unless you do this one step. When you are filling out the form for the travel nurse at your GP, you will be asked a question, which is, are you going to be having casual sex? Now I know this is a bit embarrassing and people don't want to admit it, but tick yes, because if you tick yes, then they're obliged to give you hepatitis B on the NHS. Otherwise you're going to have to pay private for it, and you're looking at a couple of £100. So keep that in mind. It is 3 jabs and they are spaced out, and you usually have to leave a month in between. So this is one that you would probably get first. So at least 2 months before, try and make sure that you're getting this one first. But just remember that little trick. And even if you're going with your partner, get them to do it as well. The next one on my list is rabies. Now, obviously we know rabies comes from animal bites, and it's very high risk in Bali because there are stray cats and dogs everywhere. So this is really important. If you're going to be here for a long time, definitely get the rabies jabs. Now, unfortunately, this is one that you have to pay private for. You can't get away with getting this on the NHS. So I actually went to Boots because that was the cheapest place that seemed to do the vaccination. So I went through a similar process that I did when I was going through my GP with a travel nurse. I just made an appointment online at Boots, at my local one. Went in, they asked you similar questions. I told them, well, I'm already getting these ones on the NHS, but I think I might need to get rabies and any other that you suggest. So they talked me through that, and yeah, so I got booked in with them. Again, 3 jabs for this one. It's not the nicest jab, but it's better to be protected. And they cost £75 a jab, so it was about £222 in total. But if you get a Boots card, you get some lovely points, so you bonus there. But bear in mind, obviously, those prices, I don't know if they're still the same because I did this a couple of months ago, but just do your research. There might be other places that are actually doing it for cheaper. Maybe your GP might offer a private service where you can pay there and it's cheaper. So just do a little bit of research first. But I went to Boots, had a lovely travel nurse, she was great, and I only had to leave about 2 weeks in between that one, so it wasn't a month like the hepatitis B one, so it's a little bit, you can get that in more of a close space of time basically. The next one I got was just a tetanus booster. So if you're from the UK, we all would have got this as a child anyway, so you can literally just get this. It's 1 jab, free for the NHS, and it's just your booster. And last but not least for me, I got the typhoid, polio and diphtheria booster. Again, similar to the tetanus one, I had already had this as a child, so it was just a booster, but this does protect against contaminated food and water, which is very high risk in Bali, so certainly get this one done. So key takeaways, get your appointments booked in as soon as possible. Get onto your GP with a travel nurse and get the appointment booked in, and the sooner you get it all sorted, then it's out the way, because obviously vaccines aren't the most pleasant thing in the world, especially when you have to go and get quite a lot, and it's a lot of appointments as well, so the sooner you get it out the way, the better. To try and get the hepatitis B one for free, tick yes to having casual sex when you're speaking to your travel nurse. I can't guarantee that this will work, but it worked for me, and I know it's worked for other people that I've spoken to about it, so there's no harm in trying. And lastly, just stay healthy, everybody. Last thing you want to be doing is being out in Bali and being chronically ill. I won't lie to you, I've noticed my immune system has been shit since I've been here, pretty much. I think obviously it's changing climate, travelling, stress and stuff like that has definitely probably caused my immune system to drop, because naturally being exposed to new germs, and just get into the habit of using antibacterial wipes to wipe your phone down, wipe your AirPods, your laptop, any surfaces and stuff or objects that you're using a lot. Just keep them clean, wash your hands before you eat and drink, just simple things like that, and you should be right as rain. Next episode, I'm going to be talking about my experience of getting insurance, which was a fun one. So subscribe and follow on TikTok. Bye guys.